Okay, so we're going to make trash today. I'm going to show you how I do it. But first we're going to go through some really fun things to make my eyes look all creepy. Got my eyes in a circle, changing the color. Get a light show today. Ugh. Okay. All right, Merry Happy Holidays. Today we're going to go through a making of trash day. First thing you need to do is make sure everything is cluttered and not anywhere where you can use it. And so that's what we're going to do. Yep, dishes aren't put away, towel right there. But the important part is right here. The ingredients. And the pan. This is the pan we've had in our family for years and years and years. And we've always made trash. Well, haven't always made trash in this pan. We've had other pans over the years. But this is the one we're going to use today. And so, with some further ado, I'm going to get this thing started. Alright, this next step is completely optional and it's totally up to you, but break out your favorite dirty apron, because you're going to get dirty when you start putting the stuff together. You scrape it out and you stir it. So here we go. Alright. Now, having everything handy makes a big difference. We got straight pretzels. None of these curlicues, none of the square ones, rectangular ones, short ones, or none of that. As many mixed nuts as you want to put in there, preferably less peanuts than general. So we got your box of Cheerios, your box of corn Chex, your box of rice Chex, and my favorite is a box of wheat Chex. A couple of secret ingredients. Tabasco. We're going to use quite a bit. And then you find the one bottle that your family has had forever, the Worcestershire sauce. Preferably Lee and Perrins, because that's the good stuff. So, to start with, what I like to do is layer it down. Put down different layers as you go along, because it kind of helps when it comes time to stir. Now you got a couple layers in there, and you can stir that together. And this helps to mix everything together pretty well. Pretzels. I don't like to take all the salt that's in there, so I generally don't. Pretzels. And the nuts. I was lucky because I was able to get these nuts relatively cheap. Now this one does have pistachios in it, but because it doesn't have any peanuts, I bought this one and it worked well. The ones with peanuts, really cheap me out. They put more peanuts in there than they do any other nut. So now we got that there. There was one year that I used a Costco size peanuts, or I mean mixed nuts. And it was, it's okay, just have a lot of nuts. A lot of people like the nuts. Here's the rice Chex. And the wheat Chex. What I like best about the wheat Chex is when it makes birdie. Those I think make the best birdie. Now this is where the clean counter is going to make a big difference, because you're going to make a mess. There's no way around it. So you just kind of scoop around, and to get yourself into a habit, start scooping from the outside in and up through the middle, because when it's cooking, you don't get a good stir. It can burn, char the cereal and stuff that's on the bottom. So there's a mix. And this is the thing when you're doing videos, is you never tilt the basket. Yeah, see? See how that goes? Alright, so we'll put this on. So as I said, it's really important to have a prepped table to work with. That's why I've got all these stuff cluttering up my stovetop. Put those aside for now. It's good to get you a nice saucepan, a good sized saucepan too. This is the one I like to use. And in the saucepan, 2 sticks of butter. Used to be oleo, but you know, oleo is not something we use much anymore. Bacon grease. Garlic salt. Tabasco. And your Lee and Perrins Worcestershire sauce. Alright. So start your pan at a low temperature and let it work its way up so as things melt. You got time to add everything together. Alright, there's the butter. While that's going, get the bacon grease. Bacon grease is one of those things that you don't know how much you use it until you start cooking with it, because it adds a lot of good flavor. There's stories about saving bacon grease during the Depression era, sending it out to military for them to make regular grease or other oils. Now, I hardly ever measure out what's here. Usually get a good, maybe a cup or so. It's not the same as much as the butter, but then you can't go wrong with bacon grease. It never goes bad. And it gives you a good reason to eat bacon. Everybody loves bacon. Alright. I think a little bit more. Alright, so I'd say that's a little over a cup, but a cup, that's about right. Let that start to simmer. I'm going to put this away. And now you see why you got to wear gloves. I mean, apron. You can wipe your hand off every time you get your hands dirty. Alright, I'm going to switch over to a slightly bigger spoon here in a minute. So that's working its way through. Garlic salt. The original recipe, no one really knows where the original recipe is. Some people have forgotten, some people don't. Usually like to put in nice fresh product salt. Don't worry if my finger's in there. It's going to be all over the trash in a little while. Go with 3. Hang on a second. This is why fresh ingredients are important. So I put in 1 in a little bit, so I'll put in another. One and a little bit. Okay, there's that. Now here's where you have the opportunity to either make this real spicy or not. Just depends on your personal flavor preference. Okay, so I'm going to go with 3 shots. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to leave this out because I'm probably going to use more. I don't know yet. And then on the Tabasco, this is the one that adds the heat. And I already had one open. That one wasn't open yet, so I went and got the open one. Anyway. So anywhere between 3 and 6 is what I use. I think the recipe originally called for 2. It could have been less, but 2. These are tablespoons, by the way. 3. 4. We'll start with 4, and I'll probably bump that up, but I want to see how it goes. There's a simple way to test to see if it's any good. Now this is a unique test. That's really only something my sister Jane and I, when we were making this stuff, figured out. The idea is, if you can breathe it, it's not strong enough. And right now it's not strong enough, so we'll add that extra, making it 6 tablespoons. Also, the 6 tablespoons idea, there's a small bottle of this stuff that I bought before, and I just used the whole bottle. I think it's 6 ounces, which is about the same. Stir that around a little bit. You're supposed to let this simmer. And I can still breathe a little bit, so a little bit more. There we go. That ought to do. A lot of this stuff is just to taste, so you've got to decide what you want to do. If you don't like it, you make it less this or more that. The problem is, you don't make trash every week. It's one of those things our family usually makes during the holiday season or a known gathering that we're going to do. So we're going to let that simmer, turn the heat up just a tiny bit. While that's heating up, get the bake at 250 and let that warm up while we're doing it. So let's see how that sniff test is doing. Well, this one's going to be kind of mild, but it hasn't started to simmer yet, so I might jack some more in. Well, my wife's in the other room, and she's all saying, I can't smell it yet. Usually by this time she can. But we'll see how this goes. As it simmers, it begins to let off all those gases that make it worth the while. Okay. So, well, that's simmering and that's going. I'm just going to let that simmer a bit. Alright, so it's been simmering a bit. Probably not, maybe 3 minutes, maybe less. But there's that sniff test, and if it goes through your nose and you can't breathe, you've got it right. Well, according to me. We all know that I am right. So over the years, back when we were living in Saratoga, Jane and I played around a bit with making extra burnies, and we would put some of the cereal into the stuff and let it cook with it. I've kind of decided against that, as it kind of makes things a little bit too spicy or soggy. But what I do have is the option: take some of the dry mix first, and after you pour this onto the bucket over there, then you can stir this in the dregs that are left in here. And then that'll make a few more burnies, because the burnies come from the garlic salt adhering or attaching itself to the cereal and pretzels and nuts. They're fine. So we'll let that cook up a little bit. All right, I think that's about it. I'm going to reposition. Okay. That there. And it's about there. And then about right there. All right, so I already got the fire off. Give this a stir as you pour it onto the cereal all the way along. There, you see all that debris in there? That becomes the burny stuff. So what we're going to do, let all that go down, and then pour some of that dry stuff in and let that soak in. Oh, yeah, this one's good. I'll set that aside for a minute and stir this up. So you see these right here? Those are going to be the hot burnies. But as you stir it in, yeah, as you stir it in, it blends all those individuals and makes it all more flavorful. Got the oven set to 250. Because what we're going to do is we're going to let it cook at 250 for an hour, stirring every 15 minutes. And what that does is it makes sure everything is coated and everything works well. So I'm just cleaning out the pan. That's about all you can really get. You can try and get the rest of it, but it hardly pays off for the amount of hassle. All right, so you got most of your stuff in there. It's always going to be spillover, so you don't worry about that. But try and put it in as you go along so that you don't have some of it not cooked in as well. Cover with foil. I like using the one piece because it's easier to take off each time you stir it. We're not looking for a tight seal, we're just looking for a seal. All right, I got that going. So hang on a minute, we'll reverse you around and I'll show you putting it in the oven like that's important. All right, so the all important, put it in the oven. Put it in the middle rack. Not too high, not too low. Put that there. Set a timer, 15 minutes. And you're good to go do something else for a little while. Anticipation is part of the deal. So we've got 5 minutes in on this. We got 10 minutes to go. So you just gotta chill out for a little bit and let things happen. Okay, so it's down to the last minute of the first stirring. I'm gonna get your pot holders ready. And then what I'm gonna do is get it out of the oven. I'm gonna take it right over there, put it on the counter, and I'll turn you guys around so you can see what's going on. And then put it back. So we got 39 seconds. First few times it goes through, you don't have to be exact, but you don't want to cook it longer than the hour that it takes, because it can burn. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clear the timer. And that heat comes out quite nasty. All right, here we go. Hold on a second. Okay, so for this step, you break your glasses over there. For this step, it's helpful to have 2 spoons, but, excuse me, start from the outside in like I mentioned. It doesn't matter from which side, just go for it. And pull it up from the middle, because oftentimes that middle doesn't get stirred very well. Now the temptation here is to start snacking on it. Oops, got some spilled out that I want to keep in there. Is to start snacking on it, even though it's only been 15 minutes. But I usually wait until I got about my 3rd stir before I do that. But I want you to see some things. I want you to see in there's a couple of burnies. Alright, so that's got a good stir on it. It's going to feel soft, not crunchy. And that's because all the grease and whatnot is still soaking in to the unit. Alright. So with that sealed back up again, I'm just going to put it right in the oven. I think you probably could understand what that looks like, so I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here, and then I'll be back in 15 minutes. Okay, second stirring. Now you really be getting to get the smell on it after the second stirring. Oh, I gotta go turn the timer off. Hang on. Okay. So, see right there? Those are a couple of burnies that I like on the wheat Chex. Get it up from the bottom, like I said. Because if you get down there and it doesn't come back up, you can't see it no more. Alright, now remember at this point, everything's going to be a little bit hot. But you can collect up all those things that fell down. Put them back in. Alright. And back in the oven. Another 15 minutes. Oh, I didn't see any. I didn't see a pretzel or anything down over here. No, I didn't see it at all. You must have been seeing things. All right, next time to stir. All right. Oh. Definitely going to need your potholes to hold the pan this time. Now this is the last stir with the tin on, with the aluminum foil. And then let it all dry out. Ooh, doggies. And then spin the pan sometimes. A little easier since I'm right-handed. I'll get a better scoop. Yeah, it's coming along quite last 15 minutes. Let's see. Another 15. And I'll see you in 15 minutes. All right. This is the third stir. Well, the last stir. But we don't need the tin anymore, or the aluminum, whatever we've used. And we just screw it around. Stir it on up. Did I say anything yet about getting down to the bottom? Oh, good. Okay. Flip that around, flip it around. I know what you're all thinking. You're all thinking, oh, it's a great time to get one of them Brazil nuts, one of them cashews. Yeah, if you do that, you won't have any left for the whole bucket. That's okay. Alright, so this is the last time. It goes in for 15 minutes at my 250 degrees. Ooh, birdie, I have it. And leave it uncovered this time. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so that's it. That's all the cooking there is. Bringing it out. Give it one last little stir. Make sure there's nothing too hot on the bottom. Now I put a cooling rack under it just so it has a little bit of ventilation. Not everyone does that. Not that you need it. But basically, that's it. So you can either weigh it. I did this one year, weighed it out, figured out how much weight I had versus how many people were going to eat, and then figured out how many bags there were to how many ounces were to each bag and blah, blah, blah. Originally, we used to put it in coffee cans, and the coffee can was the amount that everyone got. But over the years, you know, 8 coffee cans, 8 one-pound coffee cans was all we needed. But as we expanded in more ways than one, we needed to have a different method. So now I think that's pretty much done, other than serving it up and making it go bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, so what I decided to do was make 8-ounce containers, which I'm going to put in these storage bags and go from there. There isn't any real good way to go. But I got the scale in the big bowl, and on there, I can scoop from a small bowl in the big bowl and decide how much I need left. Too much. Too much. Not enough. So it's an approximation. And just go from here. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm going to do. So, get that. Oh, I didn't think about the size bowl very well, did I? I might have to adapt. Let's go to a smaller bowl. Dump it into bigger. And ain't working very well either. And it's these Ziploc bags with the zipper on it. You see this part? Making the bag not open as much. But it'll all work out. What I'll do, so I might just look at the shape and size of the bag and use that and just fill it up by hand or spoon it in or something. I don't know. I've got this battery operated scale. Let me zero that out. Set that down. 8 1/8 ounce. Well, pretty good size bag. I'll try one more with that bowl there. Doesn't really seem to help what size bowl I use, but let's see how it goes. Yeah, a bit much. Okay. Sold by weight, not volume. You know, I got an idea. Hang on, don't go far. What if I used this in there like that? It's too big, but you get the idea. It's the tragic part about this whole thing. It's going to be fair to everyone. It makes it hard to get everything in the bowl. Okay, get that back in the bowl. Come here, nuts. Alright, so that's 2 down. How about I catch up with you after I get a few more done? Alright, hang on now. Don't go anywhere. Well, you know what they say, mother is the necessity of invention, so I created an invention. What I did is I took the took the inside of a cereal box, cut it in shape, and I'm going to use it as a funnel. Now, it's not perfect, but then again, does it work? Yes. I tried it twice already. Just going to get that vinegary just right. Okay. Maybe like that. Slide right on in there mostly. There we go. And then it falls out, I can just add it in there. But that works nicely. So that's my idea from here forward. I'll just make that my go-to. In fact, I might trim that a bit. You know, so don't go too far. I'm not going far. I'll trim that there. I'll trim that there. I might get no more good. So anytime you think you're having a problem, try and think of something to make that problem go away. Unfortunately, not all problems can be remedied as easily as this. However, this does work. Alright, so I revamped the plan. I was kind of the same, but now I've got a little different way I'm going to do it. So first, I'll scoop up my size, weigh it, add what I need, and a little bit more. A little more percent class. A little more percent class. Alright, so instead of trying to do it all over the table and get it all dorky, I'll do it here. Even if it falls out. I just add more until it's up to the right size. I mean, no one's going to weigh these out. So they're all the same, right? Wrong. I'm just being fair. With the coffee cans at 1 pound, you just scoop up a pound. You know, scoop up the coffee can, or scoop, and that's it. But, look what I'm doing now. So you're going to have to live with what I got. Oh, I know, more riveting content. It's not necessary to put this on, but, you know, well, what else are you going to do with your day, huh? So like I was saying, my nephew Tim, I wanted us to get together and make some trash together. Let's see who does it better than anybody else. But unfortunately, that deal kind of fell through as a party, but he did go to my sister's house and get something done. So at least he got one wrap. He's been he knows what's been going down 9 ounces fairly easily. So he got a chance to see what's going on. But I think, you know, he's getting into his late 30s. Kind of feels that missing a family kind of a deal. And I can understand some of that because, you know, we've all been there. We want to have connections with them. Alright, so I revamped the plan. Plan is kind of the same, but now I've got a little different way I'm going to do it. So first, I'll scoop up my size, weigh it, add what I need, and a little bit more. A little bit more for Santa Claus. A little bit more for Santa Claus. Alright, so instead of trying to do it all over the table and get it all dorky, I'll do it here. Anything that falls out, I'll just add more until it gets up to the right size. I mean, no one's going to weigh these out. I'm sure they're all the same, right? Wrong. I'm just being fair. With the coffee cans at 1 pound, you just scoop up a pound. You know, scoop up the coffee can, or scoop, and that's it. But ain't what I'm doing now. So I'm just gonna have to live with what I got. Oh, I know, more riveting content. It's not necessary that I put this on, but you know, wow. What else are you going to do with your day, huh? So like I was saying, my nephew Tim had wanted us to get together and make some trash together and see who does it better than anybody else. But unfortunately that deal kind of fell through as a party, but he did go to my sister's house and get something done. So at least he got one wrap of it. And he's been around. He knows what's been going down 9 ounces fairly easily. So he got a chance to see what's going on. But I think, you know, he's getting into his late 30s. Kind of feels that missing a family kind of a deal. And I guess I can understand some of that because, you know, we've all been there. We want to have connections with a Bam Dambly. So I can't say as I blame him. I thought this would be a good little way to make a video for him. Not just him, but y'all too. Alright. So everybody gets a chance to see all the secrets. I think my mom got this recipe back in the 50s when she was living in Texas. And one of the things about it was, because it used different brands of cereal, the manufacturers didn't want to support it because it wasn't all our cereal. It was, competitors' brand as well. And so, when the person my mom got this recipe from offered it to Chex Mix, or Chex, to see if they'd be interested in purchasing the thing, they declined because it had a different brand of cereal. I don't remember what it was, Purina or who or what, but they just decided it wasn't something they wanted to do. But of course, it does seem that they copied enough of the recipe that they made their fortune on it. All right, so now it's time to see how many bags I actually got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A dozen bags, 8 ounces each. Excellent. I'm going to call that a win. Well, there you go. Like it or not, I've made a batch of trash. Got 12 bags out of it at 8 ounces per bag. So you guys can do the math on that one. I'm working on different things. I usually just show content that is historical, in how I post things, what's happening on the property, what's happening outside. And sometimes I don't know what to do. Time lapses are fun, but after a while, no one watches them. So I'd like to get some ideas from y'all. If you have any preferences or something you'd like to see or not see, give me a call. Give me a notation. So, that being said, like the video. Even if you didn't like the video, and even if you don't like trash, please like the video and consider subscribing. Bye!